Oh, bad move, man. This is gonna be awesome! Automatic turrets is so cheating! Ah, turns out their Achilles heel is up their asses.
Knew you could do it, Z.
Just gotta keep leapfrogging these auto turds.
Hey there guys, how's it going? It's Afraid Not, and today we're back with another episode of my I Own series, and today we'll be talking about InFamous Second Son. InFamous Second Son is a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's an open world action RPG game, I would say. I wouldn't say it's a complete RPG game because there's not that much customization to your player, but it still takes elements from RPG games, just like the skill tree system and that kind of thing, but we'll talk a little bit more in depth about that. The reason I picked InFamous today is the most latest game that I've actually bought for the PlayStation 4. I've played a hell of a lot of it today. Let me start by saying I'm having an absolute blast, especially playing this today. It's very story driven, so you start off, your character is Delsin Rowe, I think his name is, and you're basically this runaway kid who's into like spray painting walls and just being an all-round kind of naughty kid. And it starts off that you're spray painting a wall at the beginning, and your brother, who is quite high up in the police force, I don't know if he's a CIA or something, he's some kind of high inspector police officer or something. He catches you at the time and he threatens to, arrest you, etc. But obviously because you're brothers, he doesn't. And you wind up, basically at the beginning, you wind up getting this special smoke power. You meet one of these guys, and they're actually called conduits for whatever reason. Conduit for me is actually it's a round piece of trunking that you put cables in, but but it's kind of a silly name that they come up for it. But these conduits are like the bad guys kind of thing. They're regarded in the game as a bad guy. So yeah, you meet one at the beginning and you end up touching him. I can't remember if it's him or her. It was actually a couple of months ago I actually started the game, but I only recently picked it up today and carried on where I left off. But I can't remember if it's a guy or a girl, but you kind of meet someone, you touch them and you absorb this smoke power, and it just lets you like dart through like railings and things like that. It sort of turns you into smoke briefly, and you can travel to places that you can't normally. You will then, as you progress through the story, you start to learn other abilities like smoke balls, so you can take enemies out at a range. You can learn a glide feature, which I didn't actually, I don't know why I didn't use it in that that little clip there, but this is the smoke ball system where you can kind of just take people out at a distance. There's other ones that when you can get on top of cars and you can charge it up and you can make these massive jumps straight across the maps and get to places where you wouldn't be able to normally. Unfortunately, using all these abilities isn't unlimited. As you can see in the bottom left there of the screen, you've got like a recharge bar. When you start using all these kind of different abilities and stuff, obviously that bar starts to go down, and the way you recharge, there's certain vents all over the map, and if you can find, like, if you blow up a car or something, and obviously all the smoke starts pouring out of it, you can actually go up to that smoke and just absorb it into yourself, and when you absorb it, it refills that bar. Here you're about to see a boss fight that I got into earlier today. It was really difficult. I must have done it about 6 times, or died about 6 times, so I will cut it to the part where I actually do kill the guy. But here you see Augustine, who is the main protagonist in the game. This is the girl or lady who's made you want to learn all these different abilities throughout the story. She kind of roughens you up and bullies you a little bit at the beginning, and you just want to get your own back on her. So you go through the story and you just want to learn load of more abilities. You go through different missions, etc, etc, learning more stuff, and the whole purpose is to kill this woman. So that's really what the story is. Let's talk a little bit about game functioning. Now, the movement and stuff I really like. It's so smooth. Something that I really found which was quite weird, when I went onto the start menu earlier on today, it actually allows you to cap the frame rate at 30 frames per second. I don't know why you'd want to do that. I really don't, but I just have it on unlimited as what it is standard. But for whatever reason, it gives you the chance to be able to put it on 30 FPS if you so desire. The combat system is interesting. It hasn't got repetitive yet. It's not like an Assassin's Creed game where you've been in one gunfight or been in one little bit of combat sequence and it's just the same again and again and again throughout the whole game, and then 5 after that kind of thing. I've not actually played the first 2, so I don't know how different it is compared to the first 2 InFamous games, but I'm having an absolute blast with this combat system and just the way that this game works at the moment. I've noticed with the PS4, I know it isn't all sunshine and roses. I've kind of beamed it up to be the best console ever, and it has had its problems. Like Call of Duty Ghosts, I noticed quite a lot of frame drops, but this game I've noticed nothing wrong with it at all, which is exactly the way an exclusive, in my opinion, should be. It's not like a Titanfall, you know, for Xbox One, where that you just can't get 1080p FPS out of that. Like, that's at least, and this is nice to see an exclusive game for a console, and the console has made it run in my opinion the best way that it absolutely can. I think I've not actually experienced any glitches, no bugs, nothing, so that's always a plus to have with the game. Another thing I really like about this game is the voice acting. I think every person I've ever come across, I don't think sounds the same as anyone else. I think they've all got sole voice actors for each different character, which is nice to see. I noticed a few games which are single player, you kind of, when you meet people, they've got the same voice as someone else, like Star Wars: The Old Republic. I think that was the last I Own episode that I brought out, and that had the voice acting was very repetitive. It's very repetitive in fact, but yeah, on this game it seems to be done really well. The story has been designed really well, or written really well. Here we'll get a little example of what the voice acting is, so you guys can just see for yourselves.
Oh, okay, so maybe I, lied about the neon thing, but listen, I think I can save us both a lot of time here. I just need to leech a little power off you, that's it.
You want me to just give you my power?
I mean, not enough to sink bridges or anything, but enough to pull the concrete daggers out of my friends, yeah. And then after that, you will never see me again.
I've got a better idea. Since you'd be useless to me back in your little hovel, how about you stay here with me?
I kind of like my idea better.
So as you can see, it's pretty solid. I really like it. I don't know what you guys might think. As far as multiplayer goes, as far as I'm aware, there isn't actually a multiplayer mode. I haven't really played around with the menu or anything, but when you load up the game, it just goes straight into like your single player game anyway. So I don't think there is actually an option for multiplayer, unfortunately. But then I don't know really what you can do. It'd be nice to have some kind of co-op, you and your friend go around and do the story, which, funny enough, I don't think games do enough of these days. I really don't. I remember having like sort of not LAN play, like when you've got a controller, but back in the day when you had a PlayStation 2, you could always play through single player games with your friend. It could be just like a co-op campaign mode. Yeah, I just don't think games actually do that as much anymore, and it's a shame. It is a real shame, because it'd be nice to sort of do like a 2 or 4 player co-op game where all of you can just do the campaign or single player. Yeah, so on a whole, I really like this game. I'm looking forward to diving in a little bit further. I've kind of got so far into the game now. I'm sort of halfway through, I would say, and everything I've spoken about in this video is kind of like the first quarter. I've advanced into let's say the second quarter, and I kind of know what's coming in the latter part of the game, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that. So I will put a few more hours into this game. I would recommend it to you guys if you own a PS4, and if you can pick this up relatively cheap. I probably wouldn't pay like full price for this game. I think I got a discount, I got your game card or whatever. I think that's how that actually paid for this game. So I wouldn't actually recommend it at full price at 40-50 quid, purely because it is quite a short game. As I say, I'd say I'm halfway through, and I've probably put in about 4 to 5 hours into it. So it's not a very long game, but it's definitely worth it if you can pick it up pre-owned or something. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. If you did, please leave a rating, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.